it's my goddess Chrissy. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, if you're returning, thank you for coming back. I'm gonna be doing a pick a card reading, and this one is really special because it's my first like past life pick a card that I'm doing, and I'm hoping that I can do more of these in the future. So I'm basically my theme is your past life in Egypt. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Yeah, so I'm really excited. Let's see where it goes. It's a pretty quick reading where I don't know how in depth we're gonna go. But let's just see where everything takes us, okay? So I have 3 piles here, and you can just basically pick whichever symbol resonates with you. We have a letter here. We have like a hat here. I don't know if y'all can see that in the light. There it is. So there's a hat, like a witch hat. And then we have the glasses. Okay. So pick whichever pile resonates with you, and then we'll get started. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's see what the pile with the letter. If you chose the letter, we're going to start with that one first. Okay, immediately for pile 1, I'm getting water. So it looks like in your lifetime, in your past life, you had a connection with water. So that is a connection that you most likely have now as well. There's something you may like to be around water a lot. You may go to the beach a lot, or you may be afraid of water. You know, you may have had an accident or any type of incident when you were younger, or even as an adult, where you're afraid to basically go in the water. You may have had an accident where you almost drowned, or somebody was playing around with you, but something of that nature. So you either, it goes twofold. All right, it goes twofold. So you either had something happen to you in Egypt during your past life where it was like a tragedy for you with water, and now you're afraid to go into the water, or you also had another situation in this life where you were afraid to go into the water because of another incident that took place for you. So I believe for those of you who are afraid of the water, one of your things that you're to overcome is the fear of water in this life. It's transferred from your past life in Egypt. For those of you who embrace water, love to be in the water, love to be around water, love the sound of water, you know, whatever resonates with you, I can see that here in this pile, that you had a very deep connection with water. Okay? And you can connect with water in this life as well. All right. Okay, so let's get into it. Here's an H here. So for those of you who picked this pile, your name possibly could start with an H. Okay? Either in this life or in your life in Egypt, or someone important to you, name may start with an H in this life or in that life. So if you see this card here, this card I'm going to put to the side, because this card represents something that was a challenge for you in your past life in Egypt and remains to be a challenge in this life. So we're going to look at this card last. All right. Okay, so this card here is sort of like my archetype card. For those of you who have watched my videos before, it has basically different, I guess you could say, professions. Okay, so let's see what card this is. Waiter. Very interesting. Attendant of hospitality, steward, cleaner. So in your past life that we're going to be talking about today in Egypt, You were basically someone who attended people, okay? Attended people in the temple, helped them out, showed them how to do whatever they needed to do during those times. You were basically a helper, okay? Let me put that there. Scribe, writer, okay? So that can go along with this helper card, because you could have possibly been someone that helps to write letters or things that need to be written down as far as what was going on during those times. You know how you have the Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh's like, I decree that this is going to be something new that we're going to be doing, you know, from now on. And then you would be the person to write that down and set it in stone. So it's pretty interesting. In this life, you may be a writer, or you may be called to write, okay? Or you may also be a waitress or a waiter in this life, possibly a bartender, or just someone that helps others. You could be a nurse, a doctor, okay? Someone that shows some type of hospitality. Could work at a hotel, anything that deals with helping others. And like I said, if in Egypt, if you were a person that did things for the Pharaoh or the Pharaoh's right-hand person, then possibly you have a job now where your boss's right-hand person, maybe an administrative assistant, where you're taking down notes or whatever it is that the boss needs. Okay. All right, so we have the Three of Wands here. Okay, so I'm getting that you were a person who didn't have money, but you worked your way up as far as like status. So you raised your status during that time. Yeah, look at this again, the Five of Coins. The Five of Coins. Yeah, just as I said, someone that worked with the Pharaoh. So here it is. Okay. That possibly could be you right here. Look at that. See, there's a man there that's like sitting next to the Pharaoh with the paperwork. Yeah. That's the Pharaoh's right-hand man, exactly. Read his letters, the notes, whatever it is that he needed to know at that time. So yeah, that is you. Don't you love when it all comes together? This is you here. That's you there. Okay. All right, here we go. Spring, the new moon, the maiden. This is another card. This is another message that I got from this card as well, that you were also like a concubine. So when the Pharaoh needed someone, you were one of the concubines to the Pharaoh. Okay, so when you were very young, you were a concubine to the Pharaoh. And look at this here. Here's another confirmation of that. So there were two lives that they wanted to bring about for you. There was one life where you were the Pharaoh's right-hand person, and you wrote everything and anything that needed to be written during that time. And then there was also a time where you were the Pharaoh's concubine. Okay. All right, that's pretty interesting there. Okay, so you may find yourself in that position now where you're in a situation where you're not necessarily the girlfriend or a wife to someone, but you're, I don't want to say it like this, but like the side chick to that person. Okay. All right, so let's see here what you struggled with in that life and what you possibly, not even possibly, but what you still struggle with in this life. Okay, here we go. What's meant to be yours is already making its way to you. What was never yours is starting to flee from you. With time, it will all make sense. For now, bear the confusion and focus on living fully in the present. Don't let your whole life be, I'll be happy when. Be happy now. Okay, so what this card is telling you is that in your past life, you always had the mentality of, when I get this, that's when everything will be in order. When I have that, that's when I'll be happy. When I'm at this point, that's when everything will be perfect. But you didn't live in the here and now. You didn't live in the present where you just enjoyed life and enjoyed the moments. And that's what they're saying here, that you're dealing with the same thing in this life. You may not have what you want, and you're dwelling and focused solely on that you're not living in the present. So what they're telling you is that one thing you didn't do in your past life was live in the present. And like I told you before, you know, you went from this, I don't know what you call that, like tending the fields, I guess, and then ending up to being like in the temple and being the Pharaoh's right-hand person. So like I said, you did work your way up. However, you were never satisfied with the level that you were at. You wanted to go higher and higher. And because you dwelled on that so much, you were never completely fully satisfied with your life. Okay? And I see that more with you being the Pharaoh's right-hand person. With this role here that you played as the concubine, it seems like you just kind of went more with the flow. And they want you to be more in this energy. Okay? It says here, be happy now. It's not, I'm going to be happy when. It's be happy now. Okay? So that's something that you had a challenge with in your past life and something you still challenge with now. All right, so that is pile 1. I told you guys it's going to be short and sweet. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And until next time, let's go to the next pile. Don't forget to like the video, guys. Don't forget to like and comment if this resonated with you. Let's go to the next card, which is the witch's hat. Now, automatically, with you picking the witch's hat, I'm assuming that you're a very spiritual person. In that life as well, you're a very spiritual person. I can also take from this that you wear different hats. There's many different things that you can do. There's many different skills that you acquire. Okay? So let's just move the hat over here. And let's see. I'm gonna move, this is the card, the challenge card. We're gonna move that to the side. Look at that. Genius. I told you were a person of different hats. You can do different skills. Bearer of gifts, extraordinary intellect, innovative mind, exceptional ability. Okay, so this is you in your past life, and this is you now. You're a very smart, intelligent person. All right, genius. You can see things and feel things before they even happen. Very intuitive. You prayed a lot. You prayed a lot. You were a priestess. I can see that. You were a priestess or a priest. Let me see here. I didn't have a card for it. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. All right. Let's see the other cards here. Teachings. So you were the one that helped with the teachings that they had during these times. So in this life, you could be a teacher. Okay, in some shape or form. That doesn't necessarily mean in the classroom, but you could also be someone who shows people how to do things. You know, you could be a trainer. You can also be just like a leader in your family where people look to you whenever they need help. Oh, look at that. Bedroom. Sexual fulfillment, intimacy, sensual pleasure, love affair. Okay. Dream time, astral travel, call it a day. I'm getting more of astral travel with this bedroom card here. There were things that you can do. I'm getting like tantric or tantra kundalini vibes. Okay, so you have very good skills during that time and this time in the bedroom. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that again. So you had a very high position when you were in Egypt. You had a very high position. You were the one that understood how the human body and human mind worked. And you used that to your advantage to help others understand it as well. So I would say you were like a high priest, high priestess. You were a teacher in your past life in Egypt. Let's see here. Look at this. What did I just say? Oh my gosh. There it is. There it is. Okay, so for this pile, what I can tell you is that you're a very spiritual person. You receive signs all of the time. And if you haven't tapped into your spirituality, this is a sign for you and a blessing that's coming to you, that you need to really open up yourself to your spirituality and not to be fearful. With these phobias card, you had a fear of opening yourself up to your spirituality in one of your past lives. Okay, I feel like you had 2 lives in Egypt. One where you didn't pursue your spirituality, and another one where you did pursue your spirituality, and you were all of these things during that time. A genius, a high priestess, a high priest, a teacher. Okay? And what I get here from this pile as well is that you never wanted to be a person who was just, didn't limit yourself to just one version of yourself. You were different versions in one lifetime. So this is pretty amazing and out of this world, really. Okay. All right, so let's see what your challenge was in that past life, what you had a hard time with, and what you still are working on in this life as well. Okay? So let's see here. The journey wasn't the smoothest or the most pleasant lately, but everything is coming together. Your patience, strength, and perseverance will soon be rewarded. The wait is almost over. Hold on. So this card is basically telling me that during your past life in Egypt, you had a really hard upbringing. It was something that you had to go through, and it wasn't easy to get to that level that you got to. This level of genius didn't just happen overnight. You had to work hard to get to this point. And then the same thing in this life, you're working hard or have worked hard to get to the point where you're at now. And they're saying that everything either is coming together or has come together because of your patience, your strength, and your perseverance. So you're getting rewarded for that, just like you did in this past life. So good for you. Keep going. Okay? This is beautiful. This is you. Look at that. Your higher self comes to you all the time, especially when you're sleeping. You may have dreams of your higher self, or you may have a dream soon of you in Egypt. Okay, now when that happens, I hope that you guys will come back to this video and leave a comment and tell me all about it, because I would love to hear about it. Okay. All right, that was pile 2. That was beautiful, pile 2. Okay, now we have the last but not least pile. This is the glasses. The glasses. What I'm getting with this glasses card is like architect, engineer. This pile, you help to build the pyramids. You help to build the temples. You help to draw out the structures and figure out how things are going to get made. So you're a type of person that's very good with your hands, or you're a person that's always doing something. You're on your feet doing something all the time. You like to stay busy. You don't like to be idle. Okay? That's what I'm getting from this pile. This is this card. We're going to save this, put it to the side. This is going to be the last thing we go over, which is going to be a challenge that you had in your past life that you're still trying to overcome in this life. Okay, so I'm going to put that away. All right, so let's look at your first card here. Animal shaman. Animal shaman. Animal spirit, spiritual leader. Well, there it is there. You had a connection to animals in your past life, and you were a shaman. You were a spiritual leader. And there it is there, okay? You had money. You had money. So you were definitely, I would say you were definitely a pharaoh in your past life. Look at that. Yeah. You were a pharaoh. You were a pharaoh. Okay. Going within, scuba diver, observation, 0 points, self-examination, exploring the unconscious mind. You know what I'm getting from this too is that you were supernatural. You came from another planet onto this earth during that time in Egypt. Okay. So you were definitely otherworldly. You came from another planet. And you shared your views during that time to the people there. Yeah, because look what it keeps showing someone of a different stature. Like, look at this. Here is a regular man, right? This is obviously a different creature here. Okay. This is like it's not a human being. You could tell by the face. However, this has more of a human structure. Same thing with here. Here's a man that's kneeling down, praying. This card says offering. He's giving an offering and, asking for prayers. And this person looks very big. The face even looks different. Okay. So again, this goes to show that you were one of the gods, quote unquote, what, the Egyptians looked up to as a god, but you weren't a god, of course, you were a human, but they looked up to you as a god because you came from another planet, okay? So you definitely was otherworldly, and you brought a lot of things with you, to help the people of that time, to help the Egyptians. Okay, so you're the one that taught them a lot of things. And moving forward, as time went on, even when you left, they still worshiped you. Okay, let's see these other two cards here. Yeah, so there's, this says Prince of Wands. So like I said, there was a life where you were a pharaoh, and there was a life where you were also one of these quote-unquote gods that came to earth and taught the Egyptians. Okay? Oh my gosh. So when you became a pharaoh, you read a lot of writings about yourself as a god that would happened years before. Okay, so you came in your past life as one of the quote-unquote gods that they refer to as gods in Egypt, right? Then you left. Then you reincarnated as a pharaoh. And when you reincarnated as a pharaoh, of course you didn't know that you were a god at that time, so you're reading about yourself. Look at this, the Eye of Horus. Okay? So you may have been Horus, or you may have a connection with the Eye of Horus. You may have a tattoo of the Eye of Horus, or always wear a necklace with the Eye of Horus. Okay? Last card here. Look at this, the Lion and the Sun. Okay? This reminds me of Ra. which goes to what I was saying, just being of another world, of another planet, and coming and helping the people of Egypt. This looks like this card too. Okay, so you shapeshifted. You also took the form of animals as well. You also took the form of animals because you were an animal shaman. In this group, I wouldn't be surprised if you have a cat, or you have a very spiritual connection to animals or to the cat family. Like, for example, with me, I'm infatuated with lions. So I have lion statues all over the place. I have a lion painting, I have a lion blanket, I have like 3 lion statues. Like, I just love lions. Okay? All right. So you were a very powerful person in Egypt in your past lives. And I hope that you recognize and know the power that you hold in this life. If you tap into these past lives, you can be, if you're not already, just an amazing manifester. If you just say that you have something, you snap your fingers, you got it. Because you have that bloodline of being a great manifester. You come from royalty and you come from other worlds. It's definitely evident here. Okay, so let's see though what you struggled with in that life and what you still struggle with now in this life. If you are worried you don't have the strength, and which is interesting because this is the strength card. This is actually, see, the strength card. All right. If you are worried you don't have the strength to move on, think of how much strength you are using to hold on. Then redirect that energy and enjoy your life. So I love how it talks about energy here, and it talks about moving on. Because when you were a quote-unquote god, because that's, again, how the Egyptians saw you, as a god. You weren't really a god, but that's how they viewed you. At that time, it was time for you to leave. You didn't want to leave, but you knew that you had to leave because they kept seeing you as something that you wasn't. And again, they were giving offerings and trying to worship you. Okay? And so because of that, you had to leave what you felt like was prematurely because you enjoyed being with the humans, but you had to leave. So that's something that you struggle with at that time, leaving this planet. Okay? So you may have that issue now, or you may have dealt with that challenge before, where it was time to move on, possibly from a relationship or something that happened that wasn't in the highest of vibrations, that you had a hard time getting over. And they're saying to redirect that energy and enjoy your life. Don't focus and stay in that moment of guilt or resentment. Get out of that energy. And don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Let it go. Just let it go and move on. Okay? All right. That is pile 3. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. It was a quick little reading on the past lives, but I just wanted to give a little insight so that you guys can know that we have had lives before the life that we're in now. And a lot of us, many of us, were amazing people who did amazing things. And we either followed it into this life and is doing the same thing, or haven't tapped into our full potential to do the same thing that we've done in past lives. And our goal is to tap into our power, our strength, and our integrity, and be the people that we know that we can be to better our lives and the lives of others. Okay? So again, it's my goddess Chrissy, and thank you for joining me and watching this video. Don't forget to like and comment, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.